Welcome to Demo Day, guys. This is an awesome event, one of my favorites and the team's favorites, and we can't wait to see all of your projects. Gonna go ahead and share my screen, and we can get started.
Before we get started, it would be awesome if everyone could turn on their videos. It'd be great to see everyone for one last time. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So in tonight's event, first we're just gonna go over some logistics, and then we're gonna go right into the presentations. Everyone will have the opportunity to present their project and share with all the other cohort members. And then in the middle of our presentations, we're going to have a guest speaker, and that is JC. Thanks for doing this, JC. We're going to formally introduce you a little later, but we're excited to hear all you have to say when it comes to building and the sort of mindset that we're trying to instill in our cohort members. And then we're going to be discussing a little bit more about certificates and other things that you can do after this cohort to stay involved. Anything to add, Max and Bruin?
Just logistic stuff. So when you're ready to get into that, feel free to pass it over to me and I'll just share my bit about that.
Sounds good. Go ahead.
Yeah? Okay, so everybody's gonna have a minute we'll have you guys share your screen, present what you did. If you have a working version on the internet, that's great. If you have something local that you want to share and show how it works, please do that as well. You can present your capstone or something else that you've worked on throughout the cohort, though I'm guessing that most of you will want to share your capstone. And afterwards, you'll have a short amount of time to take questions from people. So the biggest thing with this is just the order that everybody gets to go in so that you know when your turn is and so that you can prepare. So I'm going to send something out in Discord now. It's in the cohorts channel, and that's going to be the order. Halfway through, we'll let JC speak for a little bit, and then we'll have the second half of us present. So the order is in Discord, but I'll also send it in the chat just for convenience. And if people come a little late, then we'll just throw them on to the end. But yeah, that's the plan for tonight. It's going to be awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, any questions before we get started, guys? Feel free to unmute yourself or send a message in the chat.
And if you're not there, send a message as well. But I think I count this for everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. Then there are no questions. We can go ahead and get started. I think the first person on our list is Jonathan. I'm going to enable screen sharing right now, and feel free to share your screen so we can see what you've been up to.
He's working on it. I see him.
Can I be second?
You want to be second? Sure.
Yeah. I just have to figure out one.
Sure. Elon, do you mind going first if you're ready?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
Okay, hopefully y'all can see my screen now.
Yep.
Okay, so cool. This is my capstone. I based this off of a product manager. He's actually, I think, the former VP of product management at Tinder. He created this chart of 12 skills, the 12 key skills that he's found for product managers. And I thought it's super useful. And there's a link in the page, and I also posted it in Discord yesterday. But he doesn't actually have a way that you can create your own chart other than by hand, or I don't know, taking it into Google, or at least he didn't when I first saw it. So if he does now, then that's changed. So what I thought is I would create the page where you could build your own product shape, and this kind of defines where you are in your product management career and can also help you to figure out what things you need to work on as you move through your career. And so all of that is explained in his site. This is just for the time being, just to generate the shape. So these are the 12 competencies that you see here on the left, and you have little sliders that you can use to update your shape. And then updates live on the right here. And then once you're happy, and for example, if for an interview you need to create this shape and send it to somebody, then you can simply click there and that will just download the data. But you can click there and download an SVG, for example, and then that will print out, and you can have your SVG of your shape that you can share with people. So yeah, this is the project. This is where I got it to.
Very cool. Wait, what React library is this?
For the visualization or for
Yeah.
the sliders? The visualization is Apex charts.
Okay. Very
Oh. That animation is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, they do the animation. It's out of box, so
Oh, nice.
yeah. There's some amount of tweaking that you can do, but I used what was there.
Super cool.
If anyone has any like thoughts, suggestions, questions, feel free to unmute yourself, and you can ask it now.
I just want to say this is sick. Sorry.
This is really impressive.
This is so awesome. Big fan. That's all I
Thank
have
you
to
very
say.
much.
Good work. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm
All
going
of
to
you,
show
we
my capstone now.
We should send it to mProduct, and
We
mProduct
should-
is an organization at Michigan for product management. I think they'd love this.
Yeah, shameless plug. But yeah, honestly, this is so cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I should also say I used Material UI library for the sliders, which is a really cool library. There's a lot there for building functional components. I only used the sliders, but I had some thoughts to use some other things to make this a little bit even more interactive, but didn't get a chance to. I didn't get there yet.
Sweet. Always can't wait to see where it goes, and keep us updated in Discord.
Cool.
Sweet.
Thank
Next,
you.
yeah, we have Jonathan next up.
All right, I'm ready. Sorry about that. It was a little weird. I'll send a link in the chat, and I think it should work. But I'll also share my screen. So I guess focus on my screen, and then you guys can play with it after all the wonderful presentations. So it's just a random game, and it first asks for your name, and my name's John, and then it says like, oh, you're on a quest, and I would love to continue. And there's a whole like statistics standpoint where you have a bunch of skills, and then you use them to defeat enemies. And there's like shops, there's like ways to upgrade your gear and stuff, and like you can buy stuff, but I'm too poor to buy stuff, so like I'll make money, and then you get into like a bunch of battles, and this is like sort of like the battle like display, and then you can choose like an attack, and I don't know, it's just a cool little game, and then you can buy stuff, and yeah, there's like a whole dungeon system, and yeah, I'm really proud of it because I spent a lot of time. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure sort of thing. And
This is super cool.
So this was all like you figured out how to grow with different classes for different components of this, right?
yeah, so like there's player classes that have like their coins, their like statistics, and then there's enemy classes. And for you guys who don't know what a class is, it's basically just a variable that you define. So like a lot of normal variables are like integers or strings, but you might want to have a variable like a person, and you might want a person to have a name, some like characteristics, and so I like created my own classes to designate different things, and that's how you can build your programs. Um, yeah, and there's just a whole big journey. So if you'd like, you guys can play and try and win. It's pretty difficult, but it's doable. Yichan somehow won. So that's cool.
This is awesome, John.
Thanks.
I'm going to be playing this after this.
All
Yes.
right. You got to tell me how it is. And if you
All right. We'll do.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Next up,
Is there like a critical path where if you choose the exact right order of things, then you can win in like 3 minutes?
No, but there's like some like intentional like exploits that you can do to like make it pretty easy to win.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. Next up we have Chris, followed by Abhilash.
All right, hold up. Just give me a second. I'm sharing my screen. So, all right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so I didn't have the chance to put this on Netlify because for some reason I think my it's not letting me git push just because like a new computer authentication errors to whatever. So I'll just share it from here. Okay. So I decided to just add on to my personal website what I was planning on doing, which was a Pomodoro timer. Don't mind this first kind of picture here because it's I've just been messing around with Flexbox. I was trying to become a master at Flexbox with this website, so I didn't know anything about it, and so just organizing it was kind of learning all the ins and outs was something new for me. So this is kind of like I tried to start off with like a parallax kind of website page, but just in pure CSS. I couldn't figure it out though, but this is my full kind of page website. I've been working on it actively and had put enough space so that when it came time to do a capstone, I could put this Pomodoro timer. It's pretty simple actually. It was kind of like inspired by one of the first projects that we did with some and JavaScript. And I figured I'd take those fundamentals and just try to use it on a timer here. So the way Pomodoro timers work, it's kind of like a focusing tool. And I have like I put an image on the background of this page of like what it looks like or how to do it, but it's being blocked by my whatever you can call this sidebar navigation. That's like a complete failure. But basically you would define a task, then you set set the timer to 25 minutes or whatever time works for you. I think 25 minutes is the default kind of traditional thing because I think it's like some psychological trick where I think it was inspired by some guy who like made a timer with like a tomato that like turns like 360 degrees and it takes almost like a cooking, like when you bake and you set the timer. And so it was just 25 minutes. You work on that task until the timer rings. And so I guess in this case, 25 minutes. And then you take a short 5-minute break afterwards. And then you would repeat this 4 times or whatever many times you'd set. And then when you get to, when you repeat it 4 times, you would take a longer break. And they call it Pomodoro. So after 4 repetitions, it's 1 Pomodoro. And then until you do this, until you get your tasks done. So here, this is kind of like I think it's a working model. I did my best, but right now it just kind of, you start and it kind of counts down from whatever time I haven't set custom times yet, since it's just 25, it's much easier to do it this way. And when that timer runs out, the cycle would start up at 1, I believe. And then, or no, after a work and a break cycle, it would be 1. And you can reset this, you can start this, and you have kind of all types of flexibility with what you see here. And so I haven't really, usually I would want to put like actual images here showing how many cycles, like 0 cycles would be like a tomato here, like a second tomato would go here if you're 2 cycles in, just to show something. But yeah, so this is, I made this separately and figured I would put, since it was just a bunch of JavaScript and CSS, it was just easy to drag into a section on my website that I included for Enlight Pomodoro. So that's my project. Kind of straightforward. Don't mind the image, but all right.
It's super cool, Chris. And I mean, let me know when you have something deployed because I'd love to add it to our project gallery.
For sure. Did you? It was weird because I think did it share my screen? Because I think when I came back, my face just showed up randomly.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, we could see it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Make sure everyone just as Max said, just to submit it on your dashboard. And from there, we can compile it and make a really nice gallery for your cohort. And yes, just even if it's not done yet, just submit it whenever you can, so then we can have that on file. Next up, we have Abhilash, followed by Ishwar.
Yeah, hi. So like I think somebody mentioned before, this is a first iteration. Basically, I like the concepts of using APIs and then using Python for doing some of the data analysis. And then, in future iterations, I'm thinking if there is a way to actually give inputs in the Python screen itself. Right now, I have to hard code who the user is that I want to analyze. And also some of the outputs I would like to integrate to some other tools like Tableau or something else. But compared to some of the others, this is relatively simple in the sense that all I'm doing really is authenticating, creating a Panda data frame, and then really doing some of the matplot and some of math functions around the average, the number of likes, and the number of retweets, etc. So just the matplot is to see if there's a correlation between the number of likes and the number of retweets. For example, you see spikes somewhere, and then you see spikes in retweets as well. The addition to that really is finding common words. So Python gives you certain packages where you can ignore certain words. So certain stop words can be ignored using the NTLK package. I use that to ignore some of the words. Basically started with, removing the URLs, making everything lowercase, and then removing the stop words. And then the second addition to that was making your own filter. So I just for the sake of it, I filtered out big, for example, and so you don't see big in this chart again. So this was for the screen name real Donald Trump. Now I can do that for somebody else. Like I mentioned, I didn't know how to do the input within Python itself. I have to hard code it into the code itself, the user. And Colab sometimes behaves very erratically. Yeah, I think it refreshed. So you see the difference now, I guess. Barack Obama has like 4 million likes. So similar trend, you see between likes and retweets. And words, he seems to be less talking about himself here versus where you would see with real Donald Trump, he talks more about himself when you see the common words that he tweets. So that's really it. This is iteration 1. I definitely want to work more on this, but this is all the time I had for right now.
This is super cool, and you clearly explained the story that you're trying to tell with the data. So I really appreciate that too.
Hey, thanks, Max. And thank you for your help. I know I've come back to you a number of times, including on this one, and like I had authentication problems, etc. So
Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to get that resolved.
thank you.
Yeah, very nice. I would be it would be cool if I could check it out and in the future, maybe type in any Twitter account name and get data on it.
Yeah, that's so you can if you change the code. I just don't know yet how to change it. How to input it here and then have the code to return the screen name.
Right. My best recommendation for that would be, I don't think Colab actually accepts user input. So you'd have to put it in a Python script, and then you could use the input function to take in the Twitter handle of the person that you want. And then you can set that as a variable that you insert the way you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I can help you out with that if you have questions about it too.
Sure.
One cool thing too that I just thought of as you were showing this and comparing Barack Obama with Donald Trump would be to be able to put in two accounts and then show both sets of data in the in these charts at the same time, and then that way you could do a comparison of.
Yeah, no, that should definitely be possible. That's very much possible. I just have to, just do the repeat and just show it side by side.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Then you have an extra dimension of time as well, which is interesting.
Ooh, very cool.
I think we need to use this for the Enlight Twitter to get some data-driven insights.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is just iteration one. Even today evening, it broke. I don't know what happened. I have to keep fixing it. I think it's Colab that is very finicky or what, but it for some reason keeps breaking.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a project and you'll keep improving on it. And I hope that you keep on sharing it in Discord, because I know that I'd love to keep seeing how this continues to evolve.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abhilash. Next up, we have Ishwar, followed by Aaron.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So, one of my personal goals, I have some background in statistical coding, but before this program had never done any web dev, HTML, CSS, Java, any of that stuff. So one of my goals coming in was to make a personal website. So here's my attempt. So you can see kind of this intro portion here, just has this animation that goes back and forth. This is like basic bio. I think the animations turned out pretty well, actually. Like different skill sets. This is a nice like rolling feature of like different outputs that people may want. So like, how many patients have you seen, research outputs, et cetera, et cetera. Here's like a pretty cool drop-down feature for like degrees, honors, awards, that type of thing. And then links to like LinkedIn, Google Scholar, and a few different experiences along the way, and then contact information at the bottom. So yeah, it's pretty basic, but something I was pretty happy as somebody who had never even opened a file before this and was able to put this together. So
this is amazing.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, I love the animations.
Thanks.
I like how you decided to make the rolling counters work. I remember we worked on that a little bit. I see.
Yeah.
A solution to it.
Turned out nice, I think so.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Sure.
Next up, we have Erin, followed by Jacqueline.
Yeah, so I was working on this over the summer for a class. It is a battle game to teach kids object-oriented programming. This is a very early iteration of it. But you can go in, and the whole premise is you're going to be creating this elemental dude that can battle. And so you can see, like, this is your elemental constructor. You click on the constructor braces, and then you end up with this little dude over here. and then you choose some of the parameters for it. So like I can choose water, and now he's blue, and then these don't yet change his appearance, but they will in the future. And so you just like choose your stats, and then you can see like the concept of the object with the parameters, and even indentation is introduced through the size of the blocks. And I was working on spell methods today. That is not yet functional, but basically you'd have two people both do this, and then have a battle functionality later where they could create methods where they'd have like move and attack and jump or block, and then they would then call those methods in the battle. Sorry, I don't know if you guys could hear that thunder. That was a lot. And then battle against each other to try to, well, win. So yeah, that's what I have. I have other pages saying things are coming soon, but I think I overstepped myself a little bit trying to get everything together.
This is really cool.
Yeah, this is neat.
This is sweet. I think John and Aaron need to do a collab.
Yeah.
Excited to see where you take it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. We have Jacqueline, and then we have our guest speaker.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I made a personal dashboard as my capstone project, and so I really like the draggable feature. So I included that again with like every one of these components. And then I have like a countdown feature. So let's say like Christmas. So there we have the countdown. Then I have like word of the day, quick links that I would usually use. And then I just added in the to-do list that I had made before. And then I was working on the train schedule, but that's still in the works. And then I have like a calendar thing. Yeah, just displays month, week, day agenda. And then I have like a news thing from New York Times. And that's about it.
Wow, this looks so nice.
How did you get the calendar in red? Just out of curiosity.
So that was a struggle. But I found like React-Big-Calendar. I installed that and just worked that out.
Super cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome to see how you incorporated so many elements of the workshops and webinars and Enlight projects into this one project.
Yeah.
In the future, I'd love if it's possible to like customize the name and customize like the toggles and like the weather and stuff so that other people can use the dashboard as well. That'd be really cool.
That's true.
Sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because now it's time for our guest speaker. Our guest speaker, JC, when I met him a couple years ago, I would describe him as an innovator. As soon as I met him, I saw that he has a passion for working on what's next. And we can clearly see that in what all he's working on right now and what he's accomplished so far. JC is the founder of Young Leaders, an organization to bring ambitious teenagers together and guide them to build for the future, and Fuse, which is a startup looking to bring fusion energy to life. But that's enough of me talking. I would love to hand it over to JC so that he can share his thoughts with us.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Samay. Awesome to meet you guys. It's so awesome to see what you have built and learned and built in 2 weeks. It's really impressive stuff. So the Enlight team asked me to talk a bit about my thoughts on building and so on. So I won't take too long. We'll just share a couple of thoughts and stories on how I've learned to build and some things that I hope will be useful on your journey. So again, it's been super impressive to see what you guys have learned in 2 weeks. It seems like you picked up some tools that could be useful, whether it's plugins on a dashboard, to some statistics, to different tools. But this is just the beginning of your journey. It's actually the end of the beginning. Maybe this demo night, if you want to call it that way. You just ended the start. It must have been a big step for you to join this cohort and to take the leap to learn how to code and to put yourself out there. So kudos to you for taking that leap and jumping into an unknown territory, which is learning to code. But remember, this is just the end of the beginning. And today you've all demonstrated that you've got some tools, you've done some stuff, and it's time to figure out how to put those skills to use. And just one personal story to illustrate some of that example. I grew up in Lebanon, and I was super passionate about physics, space, and all of that cutting edge tech and science. And I was super lucky to get into working in a lab, working on plasma physics, trying to understand why there's a perfect hexagon on the pole of Saturn. So actually, if you look on Saturn, there's like a perfect hexagon. It's crazy, it's straight lines. And so I remember talking with the professor. I mean, obviously I could barely understand the physics. I was just fascinated and trying to replicate and just suck out as much information as I can. And then the professor told me, oh, these streams are not for Lebanon. If you want to go work on building companies and doing cutting edge research, you have to immigrate. This is not the place. And in my head, I started thinking, I just started cramming books and doing some side hustles and fixated myself on coming to Canada. And eventually I did. So around a month after I flew to Canada, and I came here with the hope that, I just made a huge, giant step, and now things are gonna unravel. Like, the world should reward me for having taken a big leap. But what I've discovered is, oh damn, I barely even got started. I just opened a new world for myself to explore, and this was just basically opening the door to a whole new world. And from then, I mean, started from scratch, learning different things, meeting different people, building, etc. But again, so going back to you, so opening the door, I think, to the world of programming is literally as if you're just opening a new door to the whole new world. I moved countries, you just open a new door, and the world of programming is just so awesome what you can build. I mean, you've already seen from games to dashboards to like endless examples. I won't bore you with examples, but it's just an endless word. And think about it as a first door that you've unlocked, and there's a word to explore, to unravel, and I mean, to live in. But and then the second step is solving the right problems. So now you've learned some skills that could be useful, and there's a gazillion thing you can be fixated on solving. And if you're going back, I know some of you here are just product managers or professionals, and some others are students working on different things or learning at college. But if you're going back to wherever you came from, or wherever you were at the start, you now have additional tools. and think about it as now you can do things that you previously were not able to do. And this comes was a great responsibility, because now you have the resources and the tools and the know-how to solve problems. And it's super important to see what are some of the really important problems out there in the world where you can focus the skill set that you've honed, well, started honing over the first 2 weeks and started discovering, and put those skills to good use. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the world are fixated on the wrong problems, like trying to burn like dinosaur fossils, for example, to make energy, or just like trying to make the tires on a car just a bit cheaper, for example. But there's a lot of, or like just making a rocket cost like more and more example and just blow it up, as if, just imagine building plane and just blowing it after every time it flies. But the real problem is how can we make it reusable? But anyway, there's a lot of important problems out there that really require people like you who, took the initiative to step out of their comfort zone, learn new skills, and started to build stuff. So the next step for you probably is to go out there, do some soul searching, and figure out what are some problems that the world needs to solve. And now that you have some new skill set, it's a responsibility, I believe. I mean, you can argue it's not, but I believe it's you have the responsibility to put those skills to good use, and to build a future that we'll all be happy to live in, and a future generation would want to live in. So, and thinking about problems from first principles is incredibly important. And first principles mean like breaking things down to their core assumption or like proposition. So like, what are the fundamental problems that the world needs to advance? So for example, in transportation, we need to get from point A to point B. It's not about, making the tires cheaper. It's about how do we get from point A to point B the most efficiently. So that's one example of, what's the initial problem was, like the first principle problem was transportation, as I want to go from point A to point B, and then the rest is just details. So breaking things down to their core like assumption or proposition, and then tackling that was the same mindset that you came in when you started learning to code. That don't take the basics for granted, and just start learning as much as you can. Break your learning into small steps, just like you did. In 2 weeks, you were able to build 4 projects, if I'm not mistaken. And so break those problems down. Don't take the basics for granted, and just go solve these important problems. A whole new world just opened up to you, and now it's up to you to put those skills out to use and solve the important problems. And so Samay mentioned a fuse, and if you think about it, it's crazy. I mean, how crazy it is that we still burn dinosaur fossils, even though they're running out, and we just watch the Earth, like climate change happen, and all those like crazy side effects that are incredibly obvious, and we're still not doing much about it. And in the direction we're moving today, our generation's lifestyle is requiring more and more energy, and there are a ton of great initiatives out there that are important in attempting to solve the energy problem, whether it's solar, wind, or like there's a ton of them out there. But what really puzzles me is the fact that there's a holy grail for clean, abundant, on-demand, and safe energy that has been underlooked, and that is fusion energy. And if you break it down, it's how our solar system was born, and it's how the sun is still lit up. If you still wonder like how come the sun is always burning, it's fusion. It's really simple. It's basically 2 hydrogen isotope. Everybody's running around with E equals mc squared without, and it's that simple. So there's 2 hydrogen isotopes, that you, under high pressure and high temperature, they just come together and they fuse. And the byproduct of this reaction is a helium and a neutron. And so the helium is slightly less heavy than the sum of the two hydrogen isotope. And there's this small loss of mass. It's a tiny, tiny amount of mass, but if you multiply it by c squared, which is, you know, the speed of light, which is a really, really big number, it's an enormous amount of energy. So anyway, so that's the super down basics of it. And right now the main problem is that it takes more energy to produce fusion than the energy that we produce. So the net energy gain is negative. And the problem is how can we get to a positive or equal net energy output? And unfortunately, fortunately, we spent the last century committed to understanding fusion, and we are now on the cusp of achieving fusion net gain as a species. But to bring fusion energy to life and to create universal abundance, I believe that we need to take a completely different approach to the traditional one. You know, we need to rethink problems from first principles, you know, bring this frugal, you know, lean, innovative, and engineering first and entrepreneurial mindset to an industry of mostly academics and national labs and people who have been there for like decades. And so what I'm trying to say here is there's really big problems out there, and most people are not willing to stand out of the herd and be bold enough or basically optimistic enough. It's the right word. Just being optimistic that things are going to work and that we can, and we are confident that with the right people, with the right mindset, we can solve those problems and just make a step function change in the positive direction for our species. And now that you've learned in the last 2 weeks that you can learn something like coding, even though it sounds like the science fiction thing that, you know, only geeks in a certain archetype do, it's actually not. And that's the reality probably about a lot of problems that we think are just so extraterrestrial. But so, you know, think about problems from first principles, be optimistic, step out of your comfort zone and just put your skills to use, and don't be afraid to dream big. So I think it's your responsibility to open your eyes to all the options, to take a really good look, find the important problems to solve, and put your skills to use. And don't ever like take, you know, the pessimistic. Don't listen to the pessimists who just want to, you know, get a job and get a paycheck and just like go to sleep. There's a lot of problems out there. There's a lot of awesome people breaking the ground and pushing the edge of every technology out there and every assumption that humanity has. And you can be one of those. It's all about mindset, and you've taken the first step, and this is just the end of your beginning. So highly encourage you, and I hope that you obsess about solving fundamental problems to move our civilization forward. And so the last part is about leading the change. So once you've started to focus on the right problems, and, you know, at the start, people are going to go against you. I mean, there's a famous quote that says, first they laugh, then they follow. So don't be afraid to stand out of the herd. Be this person that's a bit awkward, or people would call it delusional, or maybe arrogant, but it's not really arrogance, it's optimism. So don't be afraid to be that type of person. And once you can embody that passion and that mindset of, you know, taking a first principle approach and solving the important problem, this is a very contagious vibe to spread around you. And slowly, if you keep going and really believe in the problems that you're solving, and in your capacity to approach this problem and potentially prove yourself to be less wrong every day about the solution, then you can lead the change. And it's a journey, and I invite you all to step out there and to solve those problems and to lead the change. One problem, for example, from personal story, and that's again, I didn't fit in school, and I know most of you are college students, so disclaimer, I'm not telling you to drop out or anything, but for me, school did not work at all, and I fundamentally believe that our education system is completely obsolete and broken, and so COVID-19 is again, this is my personal opinion, and COVID-19, I believe, turned the education system, which is our generation's benign tumor, into a malignant one. Parents are forced to homeschool. Students are, at home right now. Most of them, most colleges are doing the full cohort online. So basically, all of you are staying at home, having to learn on your own, watching lectures. The words campuses merge into one, a virtual room, just like we're on Zoom right now. And so paying a fortune and taking loans is going to become a more complex question. And we have no choice but to evolve our learning method to fit into the internet and information era. And one of the reasons the main reason I created Young Leaders, which Samay mentioned, is I figured that I'm not the only one who thinks that we need an education system focused on developing more creators and self-learners. And that's how Young Leaders was born. And so at the start, it was a complete dream, delusional, arrogant, education's not gonna change, what the hell are you doing? You should go back to school. This is just delusional, arrogant. And I never said that we're going to be the solution. I just said there's a problem, and we want to just attempt to prove ourselves less wrong every day about the solution. And we just want to lead this change and create the movement and rally the people together towards creating an education system that's better for our civilization, and that can put us on a mission to guide every teenager out there to unleash their inner crazy genius and to dare to create. And so this path has not been easy. And then just keep in mind that every decision you make is a decision of whether you're following the herd and just simply following the herd and not being yourself, I think. And a decision of whether you lead the change and you push our civilization forward. So I highly encourage you to think about this step or this moment where you are at today as just the end of the beginning. You just opened the door to a whole new world. There's a series of problems out there in the world that need your skills and your mindset to solve. So please solve the important problems and approach them from first principles and don't take the basics for granted. And then lastly, lead the change and don't be afraid to step out of the herd and to be that rebel or change maker. Again, super impressed with what you've done. This is the start, and I hope that you all build awesome stuff. And I look forward to hearing more about you maybe one day in the future. So thank you very much. I hope this was helpful to you. And if there's anything else, you can always reach me. The Enlight team and Samay know me well, so you can ask them or just look me up. It's JC Ptesh, or you have the Young Leaders link, so you'll have my name. But anyway, thank you very much, and awesome stuff. I hope you keep building and you just take this as the beginning of your journey. You've got a long way to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate you coming on and that really, really awesome message. And you can see all the clapping come through, the reacts.
Yeah, thank you guys.
if anyone has any questions, we can answer like 2 or 3 of them right now. Otherwise, we can give JC's contact information if you want to contact him later. But does anyone have any questions?
Questions are great. Feel free to ask away.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Don't mind the noise in the background as people talking, but
Okay.
So how was your transition going from Lebanon to Canada? Like what did you not know? Like what was new to you?
I don't know anything. My family's still there. There's only my brother here. Yeah, I don't know how the school system works. Well, how where are the stuff to do, or who are the people to talk to, etc. So I just had to, figure everything out. I think my first 2 months here, I didn't even have an ID because just had my passport at home. So I had to figure that stuff out as well and navigate, the system. So it's just, it's again, like think of, you just came to a new world and you just have to uncover the tools and the people and the resources to get you going. I don't know if that answers your question, but if
No, that does. I was just thinking of like the range in age and stuff, because I just think about this because I think my mom came at like 16 here, and so to the US at least. So I'm just thinking in terms of time frame. How old were you when you arrived to Canada?
Yeah, I was 16 as well.
16? Okay. That's awesome.
Anyone have any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself. Or send it in the chat. Okay. Yeah, if no one has any other questions, we'll make sure JC joins the Discord so you can have his Discord handle and you can chat with him there. But yeah, thank you again, JC.
All right, thanks for having me. I'll stay in to check your projects. Really cool stuff.
Sweet. Next up, we have Olamide, followed by Nori.
All right. Screen share. All right. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. How about now?
Yep. There we go.
Okay. So here is what I did. I had this idea of putting together a bunch of tools that I would use in my day-to-day work. I work as a power engineer, and a lot of calculations that I actually perform quite often. And so I've been trying to figure out what to do as a capstone for a while, and finally this came to me. And so this is how this works. I went ahead and I like the idea of being able to change tabs on a web page. So I learned how to do that. And so I have different tabs here, and I plan to keep on adding over time. This defaults to this simple calculator. And as I learn more, I don't need to make this a scientific calculator. I have a handheld one for that, and it's better. But there are other things that I plan to do with this. So, well, here's a calculator, and it does calculations. The point of this was really for me to learn how to build this. After Same's workshop on the calculator with 2 fields, I figured it would be a good idea to try to build one that had the full-on graphics on there. And so that's what I try to do with this one. More exciting to me, though, is this. Electric power, if you're not familiar with it, in short, it encompasses a lot of waste depending on how efficient your loads are. Let me put it that way. It's deeper than that, but I only have 1 minute, so I'm trying to be concise. All right, so when you have industrial power systems, one of the things you keep in mind is in order to avoid paying penalties to the utility, you need to have your power factor as high as possible, which means you're reducing the amount of wasted electricity. If you think of a glass of beer, for instance. If you're paying for a glass of beer and it's half filled with beer and the rest of it is froth, well, you're still going to pay for the whole thing. And that's kind of how power factor is initially explained to most people. It helps to get the idea out there. In order to rectify that problem, you need to compensate for it. And so I built a calculator that takes in your real power in kilowatts, your existing power factor, and your desired power factor. You could go all the way up to 1. Usually your recommendation is about 95, 97% for reasons that I won't get into right now. And then it calculates how much compensation you need. And then you can go out and actually buy a capacitor, 3-phase, that has this value in order to lower your power consumption back to how much you're actually using. Basically, you're buying more beer and less froth. And you're able to reset the screen and do it over again. I added a few things like if you have, for instance, power factor goes from negative to 1, negative 1 to positive 1. And if I were to have 2 in here, for instance, well, it gives me a message that tells me I can't do that, and it's not going to work. And a few other things. If I have just 2 values here, let's see. So it says I have 2 valid values, and I try to calculate. Something's broken there. I had a message in here that tells you that you need the 3rd input in order for this to work. And so there's a bug right there I need to go fix. So that's that. And then the next thing out here is I plan to add a page where it'll automatically populate with the latest videos from some channels that I follow on YouTube with technical content. And so that's what the idea is for this tab. And whatever comes next and whatever comes next and whatever comes next. So that's what I did, and I really like this one.
This is awesome. Really cool. I don't know if I understood all of it, but it was really cool.
Thank you.
It's so cool how you use so many of the concepts from the workshop to create all of this.
Yes, I tried to, and I especially like the change in tabs thing. I saw that in some folks' first web pages, and I was like, wow, I need to do something like that. And it took a lot more than I thought. It looks a lot easier than it is, at least for someone like me.
Is this in React?
Okay. No, this is all plain HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Wow. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. We have Nori followed by Nisa.
Okay. Hello?
Hey, Nori.
Okay, good. Yeah, first of all, when I'm trying to get my screen share to work, I just wanted to say, like, everyone's project is so cool, and I feel like mine's a little simplistic compared to a lot of yours. But, so I made a new classifier, and basically it's really, you can put in any input on the screen, and it'll scrape through the text on that website, and it will show you whether your news is real or fake. So I have 2 examples to show you. So the first one is from the New York Times. So obviously we can say it's real. I try to predict. Oh, this thing's probably blocking you guys. Sorry. Yeah, so basically it says that the 9-phase classifier has indicated that your news is real. I used 2 different types of models just to compare. And actually you can see the breakdown. So basically what this means is that I think this is the percentage that it's real and this is the percentage that it's fake, and they both should add up to 1. But you'll see, this is something I'm kind of interested in. These 2 kind of conflict with each other. One says that it should be fake and other says that it should be real. I haven't quite figured out precisely how the models work yet. So right now I have it classified to whether, like, if it's not definitively fake, then just say it's real, but I need to like work on that. And the other website I have is from The Onion, which is fake news. So we're gonna go back. Okay, it shows up as fake. You can see the CSS is kind of like misaligned, which really bothers me. But yeah, so once I figure these models out more in detail, I have some stuff to fix, and some styling stuff to fix. But that's pretty much my project. Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
This is super useful. My wife is a English teacher, and she teaches a lesson every year to her students about how to figure out if the articles they're reading online are real or fake. And I feel like all of her students could use something like that, a website like that. That's awesome.
Actually, I think Max will probably appreciate this, but like a disclaimer that I need to add on there is that these are kind of like erratic tools, I guess. Basically, like this classifier assumes that every single word inside of your article is independent from another word. So like, you know how in a sentence you would like your words connect to each other and together they'll have a certain meaning, but the classifier just assumes that none of them are correlated to one another at all. So yeah, that's kind of like an issue, but it seems to be working pretty well. On certain web pages it breaks, and I need to figure out why. But all for next iterations.
Yeah, you're right. I always appreciate an argument for responsible machine learning. But thank you for that awesome project, Nori.
Thanks, Nori. Next up, we have Nisa, followed by Maya.
Do I share my desktop or the application?
Desktop should work.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, wait, it's covering my link. Okay, I'll just. Okay, so for my project, I made like a ping pong game. It was really simple, and I just used like HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So you just click start, and then it like starts moving, and then you can use up and down arrows to move it, and yeah. And then you can just go again, and then you have these buttons over here too that you can use. I'm not very good at it, but yeah.
Very nice.
That's basically the game.
It's awesome.
You got to give yourself a chance to actually get to the ball. It goes pretty fast.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you, Nisa. Next up, we have Maya, followed by Aniket.
Hi. Desktop share. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so for my project, I wanted to make a website for my swim school that I have this summer that I created. I definitely want to add a lot more to it than I did, but this is just like the basic outline for it. So this is my homepage, and I plan to add more pictures and like reviews and things like that. And then I have an about page, which is about me, and there's like a little description and a photo of me. And then they go into lessons, and this is like basically what I do with my students. And then I have a contact page with a contact form that I edited, like it's a widget, so people could send me emails or whatever if they use my website. Yeah, like I said, I want to add a lot more like JavaScript and all of that, but I'm definitely going to continue working on it, just to make it look better and all that. So yeah, that's my project.
Awesome. Well, what did you use for the form?
I used, it's here, Power. Yeah, I honestly played around with a bunch of them, but this is the one I like the most. Plus it was free, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the tagline.
Thank you. Okay.
Very cool. Yeah, looking forward to see you market that website and get many new customers.
I'll definitely share it once it's finally more presentable and completed.
Sweet. Next up, we have Aniket, followed by Dylan.
Okay, what's up, everyone? So I've been pretty busy taking summer classes, so I tried to do what I could with this. So let me share my screen. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so this kind of follows, well, you guys can all see yourself, but I'll just minimize this real fast. There we go. So basically, this is just the linear regression program that was already on Enlight, except I just changed some stuff about it. If you didn't know what this program does, it essentially does a linear regression for X values and Y values that I hard-coded. I tried to find a way to have the user input those, though I was running into some issues with NumPy, which is the part of what makes this work. But basically what this program does is that I run a linear regression here, and then there's this program called Jump, which I learned because I'm taking a statistics class, or I did this summer. So because of that statistics class, I thought to implement that as well. So what this program does is that it runs a linear regression, and it tells you basically the equation of the regression line as well as a predicted coordinate for specified Y value, as well as the R squared, which is the R squared. The simplest way for me to say it is basically the R squared value is like, it explains the percentage of variability by an explanatory variable. Well, that's like more complicated, but basically what this program does is it just gives me a graph at the end of the day. It prints out a graph of the linear regression itself, which can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this doesn't really tell you much. It's just kind of just the linear regression. So what I did was I decided that I would actually have it run a whole regression plot, a fit least squares regression plot on Jump. So as you can see, the similarities in these two, if I can pull this back up right here, as you can see, the regression plot is exactly the same on the top and bottom because Jump actually creates two columns with the same exact values that I hard coded into the program. So it runs this regression plot, and it has a bunch of other plots that not even I understand because I didn't get into them. But if we go down here, we can actually see something really interesting. The R squared value in the summary of fit analysis is actually 0.07. And if we go back to the program output, we can see that the R squared value is also 0.07. Therefore, I determined that, okay, this program is actually working well. It gives you a bunch of other information, such as the root mean square error, as well as basically everything else that you would really need for any kind of statistical analysis for this linear regression. So yeah, there's a lot more I want to do. I want to make it so that people can actually enter their own data rather than having it be hard-coded. I just need to figure out how to append on a NumPy array. But yeah, this is what this does so far. And then, yeah, that's that.
That's super cool. And I'm just wondering, how have you been able to test the plot for when you put an input value that's like, not on your graph? So like if the highest X value you have in your input data is like, I don't know, 20, what would happen if you put in 30? Like what would the plot look like then?
Okay, because extrapolation isn't necessarily the best statistical practice, Jump's API itself doesn't allow you to do that. Though you can, there's a way to create an exception to that. You can extrapolate data.
Sure.
Your data would most likely, as you know, it would just not be relevant to your to what you're trying to do. However, if it was extrapolation to like, if your frame of reference was like X values 1 to 5, and you were trying to extrapolate for X value of 6, then I think there's a way that it can give you a value and also tell you the likelihood of that value being correct.
Cool.
But values past like 15, 16, it just won't be relevant. Your percentage of it being accurate will be like incredibly low, like 3-4%.
For sure. And if you're working with an R squared value of 7% anyway, you can pretty much throw out everything.
Yeah, you can basically throw it out. I can share the screen again and show you, but I think you saw it. Like the plot itself was like the data points.
I saw the residuals. Yeah, it was completely like meaningless. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hold on. I actually think I see some questions. The red cone like things were. The red cone. Well, from what I know, because I didn't really get into those much, that's just the variability of the data. It won't show you extrapolation because it's just not a good statistical practice, but yeah, that's that. I hope I hope I didn't make it too complicated. It's yeah.
Not at all. No, it's a great project, and I hope that you continue to like expand on it. Maybe you'll do logistic regression next with it.
I'll try if I learn that. I just wrote another Java program that was just doing simple stuff with mean, median, mode range. So then I thought maybe I would get into this a little bit.
Baby steps for sure.
Chris said it was complicated the moment you said stats. All right. Okay.
Thank you, Aniket.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we have Dylan, followed by Arnav.
Right. I think mine might be the worst one, but let's go through this anyways. So that last one was pretty complicated, so we're just gonna segue to something super simple. I'm not super creative, so I just augmented the personal dashboard project to make it more custom to movies, which is something I really like. So just simply a movie kind of checklist, as well as it's pulling from the New York Times movie critic API. So it'll update kind of with when movies come out, and then when they do come out, and if you like the review, you just kind of go through this checklist. And that's about it.
That's super cool. It's actually it's useful. Like, do you plan to like make the data go somewhere too in the future?
Yeah, I definitely want to augment this a little further, so it can actually be more updated, and you kind of save movies, and these can link somewhere and give some instructions. But for now, it's pretty simple. Plus, movie theaters are only starting to open, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit before you can kind of see any of these.
I think the most surprising to me is the imperial units for the temperature.
Yeah, that's fair. But you gotta know, you can't go into the movie in a rain.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's it.
Sweet.
Awesome. I didn't know the NY Times API had a movies part of it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it does a lot. I skimmed it after the API webinar. And yeah, the movie critic one was pretty simple to implement.
Nice.
Very cool.
Hey, real quick, I just have something to add about what you made. I think it's actually like so dope because it's really hard to kind of find like checklists like that for like movies. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like movies, so I think that's really cool. I think it'd also be cool if it kind of like showed ratings for movies too from the New York Times.
Yeah, I was trying to look into some other options. I'm not sure if New York does it, but yeah, it'd be cool to obviously just have a skim of all the movies that are out in the rating, so you don't have to kind of go movie by movie, which is kind of what I do now.
Awesome. Next up, Arnav, followed by Zubaz. Hey Arnav, feel free to share your screen when you're ready.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Okay. So so this was my first introduction to coding, to JS and other. Very new to it, and I will improve with practice. So, and now looking at all the projects presented, very impressed. I might change it to some better project than this. So I will add pictures to it and more of pets and services and training. So this is the pet shop form. Here the pet you want, pet house color, pet accessories, and more changes I will add to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Arnav. A lot of people love your project, as you can see in the chat, and they're looking forward to see you work on it and continually iterate on it.
Good job, Arnav. That was sick.
Awesome. Next up, we have Zubaz, followed by Abe.
Yeah, so for my capstone project, I built like a house price predictor, and I'm mainly using, I found a data set on Kaggle for just houses in Philadelphia. So if I can like type in stuff. So like estimated prices here, and I can like try different things. Like to like change this up a lot. The only thing I have left to do for this is to like deploy it so that I have like a web app that anyone can access. But like behind the scenes stuff. So first, I got the data set from Kaggle, and then I cleaned it on Jupyter notebooks, and then use like the linear regression stuff to create a model. And then once I got the model out, I was able to use this thing called Pickle, which it just extracts the model so I could use it for other things, which I'm about to do next. So then next I had to create a Python like Flask, so that for the back end of like my web app. And then I did that. And then and then in the model, you can see I have the pickle one. So I don't have to keep rerunning the script over and over again. This file just stores all the different coefficients. So anytime there's a request for post, it just goes to the pickle file. It applies all the coefficients, and then it returns a response. And then this is all like the front end stuff, like the CSS, HTML, and JavaScript that all made like this front end stuff possible. But yeah, that's it.
This is awesome, man. I'm glad that you made this working, and it looks fantastic too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to see ML and web design coming together, and your project does it really well.
Thank you.
Next we have AB, followed by our last presenter, Turja.
Sorry guys, give me 1 second. That's the one. Okay, cool. So I sort of just made, it's essentially like the to-do list app, except it has just a little bit more functionality. I was kind of envisioning sort of an easy way to write down like your train of thought super quickly and not have to worry about like forgetting that train of thought and just like getting it out on paper or wherever you need it. Initially, I envisioned it being through my messages because that's like where I usually type it, but I just wanted to try out like a web browser version because I was thinking about doing a Chrome extension, but I'm not even close to that part yet. So this is sort of how it works. Like, it's just like you can type up something really quick, just get that train of thought out of the way. Sorry, I don't even know my own thing. And you'd submit it with that little button on the right, and then like you could keep typing whatever you wanted. And then as soon as you like feel like, okay, that train of thought is done, you just type in done, and it like comes up with a little message. The message is false. It will not be saved because I'm not that far yet. Yeah, so you can like type up other stuff too after that. But it's just a way to get your train of thoughts down. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sweet. Looks like you put in some work since yesterday.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So up next is Turja, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but he did send a video that he wanted to pass along, so of his demo. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to play it. Hopefully I haven't actually watched this, so this is going to be a surprise for all of us. Hopefully this works. Let me know if you can't hear anything.
Hi everyone, here is my capstone project. It is called Quizo. So it uses a API. You pick the category, the number of questions, and then generate them. It'll give you a bunch of options. You pick the right answer, then flip it over to see if it is right or not. Next up, I also integrated the to-do list. So I'm writing down what I want to do today, delete it, what I want to do tomorrow, and then if I need to, you can delete it. Right below is also just a bunch of resources that are available.
Wow, he flew through that 30-second demo. That's pretty awesome, though. Look at this flashcard
It's
system.
called
It's
Quizo.
pretty
So
cool.
it uses a trivia API.
That's
you
awesome.
Pick the category, the number of questions, and then generate them. It'll
Yeah.
give you a bunch
Okay, well, we've seen it now.
Animations are nice.
No, those flips, yeah, for real. We're definitely going to let them know how cool everybody thought it was.
Thank you
But
for
yeah.
recording. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, props to him for getting the recording done.
Yeah. Now we do have a few mentors who would like to share what they're working on and later on share their thoughts on the whole program before we wrap up. So I think Ye-chan is going to go next and share what he's working on.
All right. So this is what I have been working on. It's just a basic site that it's not completed yet, but it's basically a way for people to show, like, send in their personal stories from anywhere around the world with different backgrounds. So it really is a platform for people to be able to learn different perspectives and just see how the other person lives. I mean, there's story size. This is where it's supposed to blog, like the blog cards are supposed to go, which I have not yet finished. The about, it is super laggy, but there's that. Have not finished the bio yet at all. But projects, kind of working on editing this a bit more. Oh, there's me. Needs to fix that. But yeah, that is basically my little project I'm working on.
That is sweet. Can you show us the animation with your name again?
Yeah, hold on. So laggy. All right. Yeah. So this is the animation for the name.
Think about the baby room, except like weights. And I would have a basketball there.
I don't know if it's like showing well, but yeah, using like a SVG file, kind of found like the animation where it basically writes it out. So if anyone needs help styling that, hit me up.
That's awesome.
You'll always feel like you can.
Now we're just going to open up the floor to some of our mentors who would like to share some parting thoughts. I'm going to hand it over to Oliver.
Hey guys, it's Oliver. Yeah, it was really cool to see all your projects today. Honestly, it's really, really good. And it's pretty awesome to see what you can learn in 2 weeks. It's really impressive. And yeah, I've been here since the first cohort. That's when they began this summer. So I definitely recommend you guys to be active in the community, help each other out, help me out. I'm still learning as well. And yeah, I think that, this is just the beginning, as Samay has mentioned. And if you guys ever want someone to work on a project with, let me know. I'll always be in the Discord. I don't have a lot going on, so, just hit me up. But good job, guys. It was super awesome to see your projects.
Mentors would like to share any words.
I can add something, I guess. Adding on to, I guess, what Oliver was saying, like, it's been really cool to see how much the demo day itself has grown. Like, our demo day had like, I think 6 people at it. So it's just really impressive to see how much you guys have come up with and like how much it's improved in like such a short time. And I don't know, like being able to help you guys is super fulfilling for me, but also like it keeps me motivated to like see all the cool things you're doing. Because I'm like, I want to learn how to do that and that and that and that. And yeah, I don't know. It's been really fun for me. But yeah.
Oh, wait, why don't we get a math thing?
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll just say something kind of along the lines of what they said, but just seeing everyone's projects was really cool. It's making me want to do like a bunch of different projects and keep learning new things. So it was awesome helping you guys, people I talked to. It's great meeting you guys. Hope everyone keeps working on projects and stuff. And if anyone wants to like work on anything anytime, just let me know. All right, that's it.
Kind of want to add on to what Liv said. I've definitely been super inspired by all of your guys' projects, and I definitely like want to learn more and keep working through the Enlight tutorials just by like watching all of you guys combine different tutorials and seeing you guys grow. So yeah, you guys did an awesome job, and I'm happy that I was able to mentor a little bit. So thank you guys.
I also wanted to add something on. Just kind of recapping what JC said, like you guys learned so much in these past 2 weeks, but this isn't the end. Like keep learning, keep doing more things. You know, you've clearly got so much potential with what you've got going on already, but there's still a lot you can do. And I'm stay active in the community because I want to be a part of that and see it as well. So that's all I had to say.
Yeah, seeing all these projects that you guys all did was just amazing. Just like everyone else said, it was really inspiring just to see like all these cool sites, these machine learning programs, and I'm just like, bro, I only got like a website going. And it just inspires me to just like, man, I gotta catch up to you guys. Like everyone has their own creativity, inspiration, which makes this cohort so amazing. Like everyone's project is so unique, everyone's ideas is just kind of shows a part of themselves, and I'm really glad to be a part of this mentorship, to be able to help mentor you guys and just see how much you guys grown in like the past 2 weeks. But yeah.
I just want to say congrats to you all. You've done a lot. Honestly, give yourself all a big pat on the back, because this is really, really impressive for 2 weeks of learning. Like, it's actually insane how much you guys have done in just 2 weeks. So I just want to congratulate y'all. And I don't know, there's not much else I can say. The other mentors already said it, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to do in the future, and just keep posting in the Discord channel so we can see. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, mentors. As everyone has been saying, just wanted to reiterate, this is only the beginning. And right now, we're going to express that same thought and idea. So, Varun, if you want to take it away with the community.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, just to echo some of the mentors' thoughts, this Discord and this community will always be open to you guys. You will always have access to your dashboards. You can continue to learn and grow, and we'll always be there to help you out. So if you ever are working on another project, which we really hope you guys will continue doing, because you guys have so many amazing ideas that you can take forward, feel free to reach out to us. We'll always be there. And the mentorship team will also always be there. So yeah, we just really want to see you guys keep building, and we're really excited to see that.
For sure. And now that, you know, you all are officially fully fledged members of our community, if that's how you want to put it, you know, we've all completed the cohort. And as promised, we do have certificates for everybody, digital ones, but, you know, you could always print them out. And so I'm going to, either somebody wants to demonstrate, or there we go. He pulled up Dylan's certificate, actually. And you can find your certificate if you've completed all 4 projects of the cohort, including a capstone, by going to enlight.nyc/cohort/certificate/your username. And if you're wondering how you can share this with people, well, I wrote up a quick way to do it. I just sent a link to a document in the chat. But if you want to share it on LinkedIn with your network, or just have it on your profile to do it, I would follow that link. Maybe Sime, you want to give a quick demo, hit up your LinkedIn. You can put on your personal certificate. Though I actually I don't know if Sime has a certificate, to be honest. We'll find out, right?
But yeah, if you want to submit your capstone right here and you click submit, make sure everything else is submitted first, and then underneath there'll be a cool button that says view certificate. If yeah, Varun, do you want to share your screen to show that real quick?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Here, let me share my screen. All right.
मेरे कंप्लीट है सिर्फ सबमिट करने बाकी है.
Oops. So yeah, so if I go to my dashboard, oops, this is the wrong account. 1 second, I have a ridiculous number of tabs.
Don't we all?
All right, so if I go to my dashboard, you'll see that I have completed multiple of the same project. And once you're done with your final project, or the beginning of the end of the beginning project, then you'll be able to view your certificate here. And here you would have all of your projects and a nice little verify badge and like all of your source and demo links. So that's how you would access that. And if you ever want to share it with friends, feel free to do that. Put it in your LinkedIn as well, and so on and so forth. Max, you wanna show them how to put it in LinkedIn?
I mean, I can guide you through it too if you go to your LinkedIn.
All right, let's do that.
Do a live demo.
Live demo it is.
And if you go to your profile, once you do, you'll just click the add profile section.
Okay.
And under background, there's an option for licenses and certifications. So you can just type in the name of the certificate. We recommend saying something like Enlight Cohort or Cohort Introduction to Web Dev and Data Science, something like that. You can title it, if you did more data science projects, you might want to focus on that part, depending on what angle you're going for, right? The issuing organization is us, Enlight, will pop up. You don't necessarily need to put in a date for it. I mean, if you want to, you can say no expiration, and then you can skip credential ID, just put in the URL for the certificate itself. As Varun can just copy paste it in. And once he does that, you just click save, and boom, it'll be on your profile. I don't think LinkedIn does the thing where it spams your network with updates, so I don't think you need to worry about that part. But yeah, you can just click see credential there, and it'll take you right to the certificate page.
Sweet. And if you ever want to print this, feel free to print it. But if you print it, you're gonna have to disable the margins. So when you go to the print settings, you'll see the source links come up so that they're not buttons anymore because it's paper. You'll have to disable your margins and put it into landscape for it to work. Great.
Great. Thanks, Varun. Just a few more things before we end just the first chapter of your coding journey with us. We would love for you to share your cohort experience with your friends. So on your dashboard, there's this super exclusive link here that when you click on it, it copies. And if for everyone that you sign up, we're gonna be Venmoing you $5. So be sure to check it out. Go to your dashboard, get that link, and then send it to your friends. And just share with them how the cohort experience was. And we'd love to have your friends join the next cohort, which is actually starting next Thursday on August 13th. If you have any questions on this, feel free to let us know, but be sure to spread the word as much as you can if you were happy with your experience. And yeah, we just have one more thing, and that one more thing is to thank you for everything you've done with us. You all have taken the first step to starting your coding journeys, and that in itself is incredible. You had the will, we had the way, and as a result, you were able to create something incredible today. And we're so proud of what you have accomplished, and we can't wait to see you in the future. So just on behalf of the Enlight team, just want to thank you for your support and looking forward to seeing you throughout the community on our Discord, commenting on our latest posts, and maybe even contributing projects. If you're interested in contributing a project, feel free to let us know. Some of your capstone projects are awesome, and we'd love to have them on the site as individual tutorials, so we can definitely get that on there and get it sent out to thousands of developers. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I know Varun and Max have some words as well, so I'm gonna hand it over to them.
For sure. Well, I mean, Smay said it best. I don't think it's ever possible to top him, but I really want to emphasize that, you know, I love the community that we're building at Enlight, and I hope that you all continue to be a part of it and just share what you're working on, even if it's not development related. You know, Varun, the other day, I was saying this yesterday, he shared his catapult that he 3D printed, and you know, that's not coding, but that's a pretty cool project anyway. And you know, just I hope that, you know, Discord stays, you know, at the forefront of your mind, or if you're still coding and you still want to get help, you can use the peer board. I know that kind of fell off a little bit, but it's still pretty helpful for getting really insightful answers if you have a detailed coding question. But yeah, I'm also excited personally to see those Flask web apps get deployed, so we can see those machine learning models in action. So yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely for me, it was like so cool seeing all the projects being built over the whole 2 weeks, and like seeing them stroll in Discord, and just seeing everyone like communicate and kind of just like laugh and build together. It was like really awesome to see that. And I know for me, like Enlight has really helped me like hone in on my passion for building, and like help me understand more like what I really want to do, and like build a little more. And I hope that these 2 weeks helped you guys do the same. And really hope to see you guys around the Discord more. And yeah, we'll always be there, and feel free to reach out.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. This was awesome. I think you guys are really onto something. So curious to see what happens, you know, going forward.
Thank you. If anybody wants to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself. And
thank you very much.
Thanks, Elon. It was a pleasure to have you.
I was gonna say I was gonna send a message in the Discord, but I can say it here. I just think it's so cool because it feels like what you guys have built is infinitely scalable, which is a really interesting concept, because you have people at the top who have the most experience, who keep teaching the mentors, who are teaching other people, who will keep teaching other people. And just from like an education perspective, having that personalized attention that literally does not end is a really cool concept that I've been really impressed by the whole time.
Thank you, Aaron. And you know, this community of work is exactly how you describe it. We can scale it, and you know, more people want to be mentors, which I will mention. I said this yesterday if you came to the Life After Cohorts session, that all of you are qualified to be mentors. And even if you don't have a mentor tag in Discord, that doesn't prohibit you from helping other people, because there are people in the Enlight community who haven't gone through cohorts, but you know, they might see if they ask for a question and help one day and a cohort member answers them, they're like, oh, wow, you know, this person went through the cohort and they have a little bit of knowledge. Like, this is something that I can do, and I can get to that point too, if that's where they want to go. And there it is. There's appropriately timed plug from Simei. That's the forum if you're interested in joining the community as a mentor. But yeah, thank you all so much again. And if anybody else has anything they want to say, by all means, floor is open. We're hanging out here as long as we want.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. So I guess this is more like personal, but like this entire time I totally always see coding as like competitive and boring and kind of like, I don't know, just a lot of people who code around me are people who their like life goal is to get into Google and like, you know, make things for the man and get a paycheck. So I don't know, I like hearing JC talk and like all of you guys, like it's a very wholesome community and everyone has such like grand ideas of solving issues that need to be solved, and I don't know. It's just nice to see a wholesome community and be a part of a wholesome community that isn't focused on competition, but is rather focused on collaboration and solving the world's problems. I just want to thank literally everyone that's here, because you guys have totally changed my views on coding and what it means to be an engineer, and I feel really proud to say I'm an engineer now. So thank you.
Thank you, Nori. You guys have no idea. All this encouragement is what motivates us and what keeps us doing what we're doing right now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, oh, can I talk?
Sure.
Like Nori said, one thing that I really find that's great about Enlight is that you go on Stack Overflow, you search for answers by looking stuff up, but there's not an answer to get a coding community. That's what a lot of sites fail to do. You get they get your attention temporarily to solve a small problem in your code, but something that it lacks is you don't have a community where you can create new things and I guess start something new, which is pretty cool. And I think that's pretty special because I don't know, as I code more things and stuff, it's always refreshing to see new people show their ideas, give feedback, and then also see other creations that inspire me to do something new, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think you hit it exactly right. You can go on Stack Overflow, but then you have to format your question the right way, otherwise it's going to get flagged and removed within 2 minutes. I know because I've been there. And you don't have this very supportive environment, and that's what we're hoping to make Enlight. Actually, while everybody's hanging out still on the call, I want to do something fun. If you haven't already, can you turn on your camera and unmute your microphone? And I want to take a screenshot, and it'll be awesome for our future marketing and just memory. I'll send it in the Discord after too. So take a minute to turn on your camera and unmute. It just looks much nicer for screenshots. And yeah, I'll give people a second to do that. Sweet. All right, everyone say cheese. 3, 2, 1. Oop, hang on. I gotta chat at the one time. Let's not. Okay, ready? And now. Awesome. All right, I got something.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thanks, guys. Link, we'll find out.
That's funny. Taking pictures? No, right?
Yeah, we took pictures.
I've been smiling this whole time.
You want to take more pictures?
You're good. I was like,
Yeah, Zoom needs they should build that feature in, right, where you can just record the thing, where you can take a snapshot.
Aaron, feel free to say what you would like to say now.
Sure. Thanks for including me for the cohort. It is a great learning experience for me. It has given me a direction for my future. It was a great interacting with all of you, very helpful. I hope I will always be a part of Enlight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arnav. Really appreciate your kind words. And can't wait to see all your cool projects that you ship within our community.
I swear, give Arnav 6 months and he's gonna be coding in React as good as any of us.
He's already there.
He's already passed us all.
That's funny. I also want to just say a couple of words. I think for Samay, Varun, and Max, I think this is a great thing you guys got going here, bringing everyone together, a bunch of creative people. I've been inspired. Actually, there's a lot of cool ideas, and I just think the diversity of people that are here, in terms of just everywhere, all across the world, and just like, God, y'all are just so creative. So I really appreciate that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.